In this video, we are going to be discussing the fact that there's nothing wrong with being a role player on NBA 2K24. Now, the build I'm using right now, you guys can see I am black on this build. And the reason for that is I really like, you guys can see my build, it is a point guard build. So usually, when the game puts me at the shooting guard position, I always quit the game. I'm like, I don't want to play shooting guard, I don't want to play shooting guard. And the reason is because this build doesn't have any sort of dunking. I think it has 45 standing dunk, but there's no driving dunk at all. So I used to think it was going to be pretty difficult to play off ball with a build with no dunk. So I was just like, you know what, let me just try it out. And then I played a few games with it and I was starting to love it. I'm not gonna lie, when I play on this build and the game puts me as shooting guard, you guys can see right there, I pretty much just become a role player. Now, role play is something a lot of randoms don't like being on this game. You all feel like you have to drop 50 or 100 points. And you guys will see in this game, being a role player is just basically just playing your role, knowing what your build is good at, what your build isn't good at. The build I'm using right now, it has fairly decent rebounding. You guys can see right there talking about stats. I also have a good steal. Right there, my controller's broken. Your boy's about to do a floater, but anyways, we didn't get it. But the point I'm trying to make is knowing what your build is good at and what your build isn't really good at. This build kind of reminds me when I'm playing off ball anyway. It kind of reminds me of Josh Giddey. If you think about Josh Giddey for the OKC, he's basically a point guard, but they kind of use him as a shooting guard sometimes. Basically a combo guard with Shea, and they kind of play all 3-4 guards at the same time. So this build kind of gives me a lot of resemblance to that play style. But again, the point I'm trying to say is, you guys can see right here, being a role player is something completely different because you're not the go-to guy on your team, okay? Now, this build has insane defense too, so you guys will see right here. So for me, I just love sticking to what the build is good at, okay? Playing defense, getting rebounds, okay? I have like 85 offensive rebound in this build. Now, you guys can see the other benefit being a guard that can rebound is a lot of other guards don't go for boards. And if you have a center that space out like in that last possession, where they spaced out, it's very difficult for the center to run all the way back, which means I'm always going to get an easier time or an easier lane to out rebound the other guards, and I can kick out to the center if they try to basically try and help too late. Again, getting the rebound, passing out to my teammates. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing flashy, it's nothing fun, but it's something that a lot of randoms do not like doing. Now, obviously, when I do have the ball, there are flashes of me being able to get some buckets, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can get buckets, but I'm not the go-to guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm not going to have, my usage rate is not going to be extremely high. So, in order to be useful, you guys can see right there, I'm basically just an off-ball pest, again. I'm just an off-ball, just being annoying, being active on defense. These are the little things, baiting, shading guys, making guys second-guess their passes. These are stuff that aren't necessarily going to show up on the scoreboard, but they're super important. Now, the other thing I kind of forgot as well is because I'm so used to playing on my center, I'm so used to a lot of centers jumping. Now, because I'm a guard, I actually forget a lot of guards don't have block on their builds, which basically means when I post hop, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to guard it, because even if you jump, it's not going to give you a good animation, because jumping is basically a blocking animation. It goes off your blocking stats. But anyways, you guys can see, back to the point I'm trying to say, just doing the little things as a role player, because again, if you're a random or if you're a player, whatever you are, you do not necessarily need to be dropping 50, 100 points, whatever. I know those are fun. You guys can see I want player at a half by basically just doing a bit of everything. Okay, there's nothing crazy about the stats. It doesn't jump out at you, but doing a bit of everything is gonna play out in the future. Now, the one thing a lot of people don't do or put on their build is rebounding. Okay, I know I always talk about it. I've been talking about it for a super long time. Okay, rebounding is so key, especially when you have other players on the team. You guys can see right there, especially when you have other players that aren't centers that can rebound, because especially, again, when I'm talking about rebound, a build like this, the 6'8", because I'm so quick, because I'm so fast, you guys see another steal right there, because I'm so fast, I can literally get to the paint before anyone else can have any time to react to it. Now, how important is vertical when it comes to your rebound? As you guys can see, I'm just annoying. They had to call a timeout. My whole team was just going crazy. But how important is your vertical when it comes to your rebounding? For me personally, I actually don't know, okay? Because on this build, you guys can't actually believe, you guys say I already have 10 rebounds, but you guys will not believe I only have like a 50 vertical on this build, because again, the build doesn't have any dunking. Therefore, when I made it, I didn't really put any vertical in it. You guys can see, even with no vertical, I'm still out rebounding. That's their center, by the way, the guy with the red shoe. You guys can see I'm still snagging, I'm still getting the board, being a role player, okay? This is very key. A lot of you guys, I don't know what your build is. Sometimes I've been playing certain people, I've been playing certain guys in a rec, and I'm like, what is your build? Like, you're just standing still, which is fine, you're spacing the floor, but like, what can your build do? Like, you're not scoring, You're not doing anything off. But look how active I am with the build. Okay, I'm just running everywhere. I'm getting the rebound now. As of right now, as a gameplay of watching, I think my defensive rebound is like a 68. I think it goes up to like a 75 or something. So it's not even the highest in the game, but my offensive like an 85 or 84 or something like that. So it's pretty decent. But again, just doing the little things, knowing what my strength of the build is. Okay, this build has a super high post control. Okay, it has a 95 post control. So I know if I'm being guarded by another guard, you guys can see right there. I tried to get this still. 2K didn't give it to me. But watch, I'm not going to give up on the play. I'm still active. You guys can see how I'm running around. I'm active. I'm trying to get the steal. I'm trying to get the, I can't get any blocks. I ain't got a block on this build. But yeah, back to my previous point. Because this build has a 95 post control. I'm 6'8". A lot of guards do not have interior defense, including myself. Like another steal right here. Including myself. So every time I get a mismatch, I'm always going to try to utilize, get those little points. You guys can see I only have 12 points. Okay, there's nothing fancy about this. I don't have any dunkers. I didn't even bother dunking the ball. Pass it to my center, who had a sharp take, but he missed the ball, and that is pretty much going to do the game. You guys will see my stats by the end of this gameplay. Okay, this is what you call basically a glorified role play. When your teammates see these stats, they're going to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a case of, look, I had what, 14 points, 14 rebounds, 13 assists, 7 steals. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you don't necessarily need to be dropping 50, 40 points to have a huge impact on the game. Obviously, maybe your point guard, he made a build specifically to score. Maybe that's his role. What is your role on the team? Again, I feel like because of the builder and the way, 2K is allowing us to make some of these builds, a lot of people get very, very confused. I see people absolutely raging on mic, like, well, I'm not getting the ball, and you give them the ball, they're not going to do anything with it. So I'm like, why are you getting mad? Like, if you can't create your own shot, bro, just be patient. Now, for me personally, I am a rec head, okay? I've been playing rec for the longest. So when I tell you guys, putting rebounding on your builds, whether it's a 70 or 75, it's going to change the way you see the game, because you're going to be a lot more active. You're going to be everywhere. It doesn't necessarily just have to be rebounding. It can be steals as well. Then you can try, get into the passing lanes and do all this stuff. But if you're especially playing for rec, even if you play prem or whatever, these little attributes, these little things are going to make a big, big difference. So yeah, this is just a quick video just to let you guys know, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with being a role player, because it can be very, very effective. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Catch you in the next one.